So one thing that you're going to learn, and this is a challenge if you're watching this video, that one of the things that you're taught when it comes to sales, especially when you've got a limited time available to you, is that you want to push for a close, or you want to push to speak to the right person, you want to push to not leave the call without getting an appointment. And sometimes one of the challenges that comes up is that you can come across as being a bit fucking rude when you want to either connect to the right person, push for a phone call. Now, one of the ways to still ask the same thing without being rude is to insert into any pitch or script that you have built up is expressions such as absolutely. Is that okay? Am I making sense? Was I being clear? Small things like that can allow you as salespeople to actually be quite direct and aggressive. So Riaz, are you? I'm not sure that you're Riaz. I don't think you're the person I should be speaking to. Can I speak to your colleague? Riaz, I'm not sure if you're the right person. Is it possible by any chance to speak to your colleague? Oh yeah. So I'm here to talk to you about your safes. I'm here to talk to you about your safes today. What I wanted to discuss. Yeah. So I was just calling to explain a little bit more about the safes that you've actually got in your on your premises right now. Are you hearing the difference, guys? Same thing, but the way I'm expressing it is quite different. And that's where you can, and there's lots of studies that support this, you can ask the most ridiculous things if you insert tactical expressions into your pitches, such as, I hope you don't mind me asking, is it okay if, sorry if this comes across as a bit rude, but I'm not sure that you're the right person. I don't know if you're the right person I should be speaking to. If you insert apologies or ultimately expressions of uncertainty or being humble, you can get away with a lot more. And that's going to really be powerful in all of your pitches. And it really, when you're calling into the UK, fits in with British culture because British culture is all about being quite apologetic. And that carries across to a lot of former British colonies. So if you're in South Africa, probably Riyadh, it might be the same thing. It might not be. But people, to be honest with you, anywhere tend to prefer that, which is why that notion of the British gentleman carries over abroad. It's quite a popular international export. So that means when you're pitching and when you're asking for things aggressively, directly, you can still be aggressive in the time you want to commit to get a response, but just use some of these words and you'll find that you'll tend to get, you won't find people that will get pissed off of you. And that's what we're optimizing for is to not piss people off, but get the same requisite information that we're looking for. Does that make sense, Reyes? Yeah, amazing. Any questions about that, gents?
Would this be something you should use if you're, let's say you're still speaking to the decision maker? If like the decision maker's picked up, so yeah, obviously you'd use that to get past the gatekeeper. Would there be
I'd
other?
use it. I'd use it with the decision maker as well. Listen, Aaron, I've really got to go. Yeah, no, listen, I totally understand. I just need one more second. I hope that's okay. It's going to take 10 more seconds. I promise you. I just want to explain. It'll take you 15 seconds for me to explain exactly what we do. Because often you can deliver the value in 30 seconds, but as soon as you say, I just need one more minute, it's very different to, I totally understand. If you could just give me, instead of I need, if you could, I need is a demand. If you could is a request. Do you see the distinction? So that's where intention with language becomes important. So the other classic case to use these types of strategies isn't just with gatekeepers, it's with decision makers who have urgency to exit the call. And then what you'll often find is that if they have the time to literally say, look, I'm really busy right now. I'm in the middle of the meetings. I totally understand where you're coming from. Can we schedule some time to discuss it? He said, totally understand. And I've got full respect for your meetings. Can I just have literally 20 seconds? I'll just explain to you what it is because I just want to be sure that the callback makes sense. Is that okay? Is that okay, George? And when you say that, you speed up you speed up actually your WPM, your words per minute, because that shows active respect whilst you're saying it. So if they say, look, Evan, I'm really sorry, mate. I totally appreciate this is a cold call and happy to hear it, but now's not really a good time. If you then say, totally understand, George, if you could just give me 10 more seconds, I already get pissed off at how people are actively not respecting my time. Does that make sense? Because it's like you're wasting my time by taking so fucking long to tell me that you want more time. Be quick about it. And you'll often find that that is effective. And that's how you can compress a 20-minute meeting or a 5-minute pitch into 15 seconds. Does that make sense? Cool. Any other questions or comments about that? Okay, amazing. So the key thing here is to make use of that concept of the British gentleman, be apologetic, be polite, always be apologetic and be polite, and be humble in any of your questions and requests, and you'll be able to extend lengths of calls and get away with much more because it's very difficult to be rude to someone who's being really polite, which opens up more time for you to drive the value that you're trying to communicate. And that's what we're looking for with this. And as soon as people find you or feel you to be a little bit rude, you can lose them irrespective of the pitch because they just think, well, this guy's just an arsehole, basically. So I don't care. I'm not interested. You're not respectful. And it's often tonality and words that we use. I need. I don't like anyone to me says, Deepak, I need 10 minutes of your time. I would think, well, who are you to tell me that you need my time? So there's certain trigger words that you want to try and stay away from. So words such as but, can't, won't, don't, need, request. I would try and be mindful of using these words in your vocabulary. So instead of but, you would say, I understand your point and it totally makes sense. One of the things I'd like to share with you, so it's very difficult sometimes to not use the word but you need to train yourself. Within sales, you should never use the word but, can't, won't, don't, imagine. None of that will ever help you progress because people have such emotional associations to those types of words that it tends to shut down your cognition, shut down your thinking brain. People hear the word but and they just stop listening to anything else that comes after that. So be mindful of that in these calls. Any questions in regards to that, gents? Great. So be fucking nice, be humble, especially in those moments where people are time pressured or you need to be a bit direct and aggressive in thinking this person's taking too long. And so another example of it would be when people want to talk endlessly about stuff that you deem to be irrelevant. And you might then say, you know what, Richard, I would love to spend all day talking to you about this, but I totally appreciate that probably you've got things to do. Is it okay if we just follow up with this on email and we can however so role play these moments where you think I'm not getting value or they want me to get off the phone and what you need to and we'll talk about the perhaps in a separate training. For the moment, be nice, be humble, and in those moments where you want to get past the gatekeeper, you want to ask a question that might seem a bit rude, someone's taking too long to communicate a point, or they are time pressured and want you to get off the phone, be nice, be humble. It will extend the lengths of your pitches.